नमस्कार. आयच्या डिबेटात तुमकां सगळ्याक येवकार. आनी आयचो विशय ऑब्वियसली म्हाका दिसता सगळ्यांक खबर आहा तो म्हळ्यार आसगांवचो. पण विशय असो आहा की वेदर आसगांव हॅज बिकम अ सिंबल ऑफ लॉस्ट गोवा. हाका वेगवेगळे एलिमेंट्स आसा हातूंत भितर, वेगवेगळे डायमेन्शन्स आसा, त्या सगळ्यांचेर आमी उलयतले. आनी ताका लागून अख्खें गोंय, प्रत्येक गोंयकार म्हाका दिसता डिस्टर्ब आसा. 4 मनीस आसा म्हजे बरोबर स्टुडियो भितर. पयलीं आसात गोंयांतले नामनेचे पुलीस अधिकारी, आमचे गोंयकार IPS रिटायर्ड DIG बॉस्को जॉर्ज सर, वेलकम. दुसरे आसात गोंयांतले नामनेचे दोतोर आनी एक्टिविस्ट डॉक्टर ऑस्कर रिबेलो. तिसरे आसात गोंयांतले नामनेचे सामाजीक वावुरपी आनी बहुजन समाजाचे एक फुडारी दत्तप्रसाद नायक. आनी चवथे आसात म्हजे बरोबर गोंयांतले नामनेचे आदवोगाद राजकीय विश्लेशक सिद्धार्थबाब सामंत. दोतोर ऑस्कर, तुमचे कडच्यान सुरवात करता. वॉट इज तुमकां म्हाका खबर आहा सगळे जाण डिस्टर्ब जाले. हांव एकच सादो प्रश्न सगळ्यांक विचारता, तुमी कित्याक डिस्टर्ब जाले?
Pramod, I think, the reason this has struck so deep to many of us is, how do I put it? Because I think it's land's end. This almost looks like, we always thought it might get better as things were getting worse. But from now on, we feel that we are now hurtling to a path of virtually no return. I want to give you a little kind of an analogy about this, and I think in many ways this, to my mind, sums up the sentiment of what we are going through. From the 60s onwards, from the time of liberation, Goa was the tawaif in the Hira Mandi. So at that time in the 60s and 70s, it was a lady of easy virtue. Remember, she's a tawaif, but she's our mother. So somehow we tolerated it because there were little pockets, some hippies, some little bit of degeneration that was happening, and it somehow just passed off. Today's Goa is like this high-priced, very high-profile tawaif in the Hira Mandi, or the really gorgeous, glamorous call girl that anybody and everybody in this country thinks that it's their birthright to knock over. And we, as the children of Goa, are either, majority of us are indifferent to the plight of what is happening to our mother. We couldn't care less, because as long as she's giving us the money, as long as we are able to sell her, we are fine. And then there are many of us who are internally displaced. There are some of us who express our opinions, some of us who are traumatized by this action. Many of us, many of the children, just flee the shows simply because this tawaif, though she's glamorous and she's gorgeous at this point of time, that the end is near. My fear is that in a couple of years, when this beautiful call girl called Goa becomes old, becomes degenerate, becomes useless, becomes unappealing to everybody, then where are we going to be their children? Either we're going to be in Portugal, in the UK, God knows where else, but we will be a very, very depressed and lost tribe here in Goa. That is for sure.
Very तुम्ही आमचे वेल्यान सुरवात केला, आणि दॅट्स आय थिंक अ ग्रेट स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. बट सिद्धार्थ बाबा, तुमचे म्हरा येता की तुमी कित्याक डिस्टर्ब जाले?
2-3 things. The brazen display of impunity, power, greed, corruption, and the naked display of vulgarity that we have seen in Assagao. One aspect of the matter. Second aspect of the matter is, आता दोतरान example दिले पळय तशेंच, if a rape victim herself tries and goes and compromises with the perpetrator, then that angle also is disturbing. So the manner in which things have folded out thereafter, that is after the demolition of the house, the statements that are coming from the victim themselves is also equally disturbing. So आमचे हे falling standards जे आसा पळय, whoever it is, you want to come, outsiders from Deliates wants to come buy land, it's a legitimate business. जागो घेवप काय illegality न्ही. But the manner in which these things are being carried out, and the greed and the selling of the very soul from the people of Goa, and also the kind of tactics which has been adopted by Deliates and North Indians mostly, and they are being supported, financed, facilitated by our politicians, be it from the ruling, be it from opposition, the local administration, and especially those who are supposed to look after the law and order, those who are supposed to protect these innocent people from falling into such kind of thing, are also facilitating the perpetrator. Now that is what is more disturbing. That is what is more, that is the cause of concern. See, demolition of houses have happened in past also. It's not for the first time this has happened. It has happened in past. In Goa also it has happened. Elsewhere also it has happened. But manner in which it has been done, the barbarism, the sheer magnitude of it, the impunity, that is what is disturbing.
That is what is disturbed. Dattaprasad, before I go to Bosco साहेब, तुम्ही किती डिस्टर्ब झाले हे सगळं ऐकत की?
पहिली म्हणजे ती फॅमिली आमची बहुजन समाजाची, आणि आम्ही सगळे बहुजन समाजाचे जे नागरीक आसा गोंयचे, हे कोणाच्या आमचो कोण ना कोण सोयरो, एक खंयचो तरी एक फॅमिली मेंबर कोणाच्या ना कोणाच्या भाटान खंय तरी एक टॅनंट म्हणून आसा किंवा मुणकार म्हणून आसा. सो जेन्ना ही घटना घडली, प्रत्येकाक अशें दिसलें की एक अशें आक्रमण एक आपल्या स्वताच्या फॅमिलीचेर जालें. सो समाज हो सगळो एकठांय जालो. म्हणजे आमच्या समाजाचो जो सोशल मिडिया ग्रुप्स आसा, प्रत्येकाचे फोन वचपाक लागले सगळ्यांक. म्हणजे इतकें की आमचो सगळ्यान समाजाचो व्हडलो लिडर श्रीपाद भाऊ आनी रवी नायक हांच्यांनी सुद्दां थंय आपली विजीट दवरिल्ली. 27 तारखेर रवी नायक आमच्या एक बार्देसची सगळी कमिटी बीन घेवन थंय वचपाचें आशिल्लें, आनी एक मोठी तयारी दवरिल्ली सगळ्या समाजाच्या लोकांनी की ह्या फॅमिलीक सारको पूर्ण सपोर्ट दिवचो. बट द वे इट हॅपन, जशें आमचे एडवोकेट सामंतांनी म्हणलें, म्हणजे बार्बेरिजम आनी दुसरें एबडक्शन पयलीं जालें, डेमोलिशन जालें, दिस अ टोटल म्हणजे कॉलेप्स ऑफ गव्हर्नन्स म्हणलें जाता. म्हणजे लॉ अँड ऑर्डर, टोटल कॉलेप्स ऑफ लॉ अँड ऑर्डर. आनी एक खंय तरी प्रत्येक बहुजन समाजाच्या मनशाक अशें दिसलें की आज हें हांकां जालां, हें फाल्यां आपल्याकूय जातलें.
म्हाका ह्या पॉयंटाचेरच टोटल कॉलेप्स ऑन लॉ अँड ऑर्डर, बॉस्को साहेब तुमचे मनां येता. तुम्ही गोंयकार, तुम्ही IPS ऑफिसर, आज IPS आनी गोंयकार हे दोन शब्द ह्या प्रकरणा भितर इतले सगळे एकामेका भितर घुसपल्यात की तांकां सेपरेट करपाची म्हाका दिसता खूब गरज आसा. तुमचे भितर दोन्ही आसा म्हणून तुमकां विचारता, तुमी कित्याक डिस्टर्ब जाले?
Coming from a police force, which now we say is police service, we don't call it a force. Maybe during the colonial time they would call it a force, but we are supposed to render service. But the service that the public, the common man expects, we are not able to deliver. One thing which I remember while we were in training, the ustad used to say, जिसका फौजदार गांडू उसका फौज भी गांडू. I do not know whether the powers, the DG are with him, whether the powers have been surrendered, or it cannot happen otherwise in such a way, the way it has been happening. That's the sad part of it. And to say that the police are responsible, it would be a very small thing. I think years back, there was a political will to break off the Goa protectors. It is the same force that went and finished it completely. Someone, like it is rightly said, so blatantly comes and demolish. And in the end, what do? You make a scapegoat of the PI and the sub-inspector? I can bet you no inspector will ever have the guts to get into any sort of whether mutual or whether under consideration or conspire with any of these people to allow such blatant action to be taken. So I really feel sad for the PI and the sub-inspector who have been suspended in this case.
Bosco, I just want to point this out to you. I'll give you an analogy as far as being a doctor is concerned. If there is a patient who is dying, it is the duty of my junior doctor to immediately go and assist or try and resuscitate and give prompt treatment to that patient. He does not wait to call me up, a senior consultant, and take instructions from me as to what is to be done. Something as brazen as this, with the kidnapping of that young boy along with his father for 10 hours almost spinning around Goa, these bouncers and this JCB in full broad daylight, in full public glare, are actually demolishing that house without any judicial order whatsoever. It is the duty of that PI and PSI to disobey and disregard any order that comes from the top and go to the assistance.
In an ideal world. In an ideal world.
No, it is not in an ideal world. It is not in. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Pramod. This is a basic standard of policing. Why should this be an ideal world? This is basic standard of policing. That means to say, tomorrow if somebody is hammering the hell out of me, and maybe I deserve to be hammered, but hammering the hell out of me out on the street,
you have good enough experience with bouncers.
Yes,
I know that.
Do you think if I make a call to the police headquarters, the police headquarters will come after 3 hours after confirming with all the top brass whether they should take action?
Okay, this is a very interesting point. We'll start with the role of police.
I'm not paying the salary of the PI, PSI and whoever, if it is the DGP as the Times of India has reported today, and of course the police and the BJP and the government and everybody denies today in the press conference. But
no, they are not denying. They are saying yet to verify.
Whatever, they are bluffing just like as the politicians do.
I'm strictly being technical, yet to verify.
Take action against the DG later on, but the PI and the PSI must reach out. What were they doing for 10 years?
Okay. That's why I'll come to you. Let Bosco Saib respond, I'll come to you. Yes, sir.
My point is, we come from a disciplined force. There is no two ways that I can question my DG or IG. Whether you're right, in an ideal world, in all these things, we can question it. But if this is a police force, we go by certain discipline. We don't have let me explain. Like the resident doctors have an association or anything. We don't have anything. It is either you do it or you are hanged.
So that means somebody from the top has given orders to the
Absolutely.
PI. Fine. That's all that we need to know.
Bosco Saib is saying no PI on his own will dare to do
Very
this.
good. Okay, so fine. So let's get to the
details. Yes, Dr. Prasad Babu, you wanted to make a point.
I totally agree with Dr. Oscar की जोपर्यंत वयल्यान आशिर्वाद ना तोपर्यंत येदी व्हडली घटना गोंयान सोड देशभरान खंयच घडपाक शकना. आनी जेन्ना दिल्लीच्यान अपॉयंटेड जे IPS ऑफिसर्स आसता तांचे गॉडफादर्स खंय ना खंय आसता, तांकां बेश्टें येदें व्हडलें पोस्टींग मेळना. हें सगळेच जाणां जाल्लें आसा, पॉलिटिकल क्लासीच्या लोकांक सगळ्यांक खबर आहा. बट आतां मेन विशय जो तुमी इन्व्हेस्टिगेशनाचो आतां हाडलो, आतां इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करतलो कोण होच आज एक व्हडलो प्रश्न आयिल्लो आसा. म्हणजे जो मेन एक्युज्ड आसा, इज ही गोइंग टू इन्व्हेस्टिगेट? आज जाचेर पळय एलिगेशन्स घातल्या PIन, हाजें आतां इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करतलो कोण? हो आतां पयलें हाजें उत्तर म्हाका दिसता माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्यान आतां पयलीं सोदून काडपाक जाय.
सिद्धार्थ तुमची मरां येता, इज व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, कारण तुमकां कायदो कळटा, आमी कायद्या खातीर तुमची मरां येतले. हें इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन कोणी करप? बिकॉज वन थिंग पुलीस आर व्हेरीफायींग, दीस इज व्हेरी इंटरेस्टिंग की आमच्या कडेन ज्यो गजाली पावल्यात त्यो पावल्यात फ्रॉम व्हेरी व्हेरी कन्फर्म्ड सोर्सेस. जे स्टेटमेंट मिडियान आज घाला, इट इज फ्रॉम व्हेरी नॉट सिंगल चॅक, डबल चॅक, ट्रिपल चॅक. आतां भितरले भितर जर कोण दबाव हाडून ते गुणावपाचो प्रयत्न करता तेंय आमकां कळटलें. बट एज ऑफ नाव एका PIचे कॉन्फिडेन्शियल स्टेटमेंट आसा जे तांणी आपल्या हायर अप्साक सबमीट केलां. दुसरे वटेच्यान प्रश्न येता की पुलीस अजून म्हणटात की आपल्याच PI कडच्यान ते अजून व्हेरीफाय करता खंय ते तुजें स्टेटमेंट का म्हणून. तो अशी फोन मारून करपा जाता आनी कित्याक केलें ना तें म्हाका खबर ना. तिसरी गजाल जो दत्त प्रसाद बाबान काडलो, आतां वेन नाव द हायेस्ट ऑफिस ऑफ द फोर्स इज अंडर द क्लाउड ऑफ सस्पिशन, कॅन क्रायम ब्रांच कंटिन्यू टू इन्व्हेस्टिगेट इट? सिद्धार्थ बाबा.
2-3 aspects. One is, see, the civil element of it, derogation of your duties. For that, who will inquire? Everything has been laid down. CCS rules on सगळे बरयल्ले आसा. So if a DIG is faulted, then some authority.
Correct.
As far as criminal is concerned, criminal offense has to be investigated the manner in which it is stated in CRPC. So the authorized officer to carry out investigation will be crime branch. Whether CM is involved, whether PM is involved, doesn't matter. Authorize आता वेदर आता ऑफकोर्स क्वेश्चन विल कम न्ही आता हो इतलो बारीक ऑफिसर तो येदो व्हडलो ऑफिसर हेच्या अगेन्स्ट त्याची कापास्ताद आसतली काय सो फॉर दॅट if prima facie some evidence is found against him incriminating, then the chief secretary or the chief minister have to step in and see to it that either he goes on leave or he is kept under suspension. Thereafter at least the police will have a moral this to go after him and to take law to its logical end. But allegations that has been made, at least what is there in public domain, what I have read, this is a fit case where the DIG has to be kept under suspension and some sort of an inquiry has to be. See, merely because he has said does not mean that it is true. It needs to be inquired into, and whenever an inquiry report comes or investigation comes, then that is what we are concerned with. So presently the allegations that are made are of so serious nature, and at least prima facie it is the finger of suspicion or needle of the suspicion is so glaring at the top officers of Goa police that he needs to be sent under some part under suspension.
Maka clear Bosco सांगा तुम्ही DIG आशिल्ले. Now this is a very practical question I'm asking, real question. तुम्ही तुमची DG इन्व्हेस्टिगेट करपाक शकता?
No, it would not be possible.
It would not be possible. Okay, yeah. So आता मार्ग किती मुखार आज तर आम्ही क्राईम ब्रांचीक काढून दिला केस.
No, just I'll only clarify this thing. If it is a criminal investigation, like Advocate Samant said, you can still investigate. But here becomes an administrative inquiry whether whose instruction, whether it is now the statement of the sub-inspector, inspector against the DG's, this thing. So for that, I think someone higher has to be either the chief secretary.
What about a judicial commission or the public demanding that a judicial commission? Because we don't have faith. No, 1 week since this outrage has taken place, and everybody is passing the parcel, and you're not coming to the nub of the problem as who instructed everyone to go, the administration to go silent when absolutely thuggish gundas and bouncers and gangsters were demolishing that house and kidnapping those two people. Nobody is answering this basic question. Everybody is still, at least in the top administration, is still trying to make a kind of a souffle out of it.
You are absolutely right. I think just a guess or what the feeling that I get, that this will soon reach High Court, and I think something positive will come out from there. Just I feel, that's a feeling I get.
Yeah, Bosco साहेब, खंय वचपाची इन्क्वायरी आता? कारण आमगे टिपिकल आसता काढून CBI दियात, नाल्यार आनी कोणाक दियात, कोणाक दिवपाची?
No, I think it can be
But
done.
certainly म्हाका दिसता इतली काणी आयकतकीर आनी ह्यो भयानक स्टोरीज आयकतकीर गोंयच्या लोकांक तरी दिसना की गोवा पुलिस इन्व्हेस्टिगेट करपाक शकता म्हणून स्वताकच.
अरे स्वतः गोवा पुलिसीक कॉन्फिडन्स ना की आपण इन्व्हेस्टिगेट करू शकता म्हणून समथिंग एज बिग एज दिस.
Yeah, Bosco.
Yeah, the point. See, as I said, criminal case it can be investigated by the police.
कायद्यान.
Yeah, by the law, because who has given what, all those things will come at it. But the administrative instruction, who gave the instruction for the police not to act, that can be by a chief secretary, and he has to come out clear on these things. Why not?
No, but this is a very interesting case.
No, I'll give you only one small this thing. During my time, one of my batchmates was involved in some administrative mismanagement. So since I was SP Vigilance, I was asked to conduct the investigation. Naturally, the questions were raised. It is his batchmate, he may not investigate into things. So I went to the chief secretary. I said, sir, the point is correct. I can give you a complete report, but it would be better a senior officer, a DIG or someone investigates, because he is my batchmate, he is my friend and everything. But I would everything. Fortunately, CS said, Bosco, you give me the report first. After that, I will decide whether it should be given to someone else or anything. So, as I said, the police is capable of investigating this case. It's no great burner about it. And let me tell you, over the years, although CBI has taken over many of Goa Police's investigation, I think they have never found fault with Goa
With the
police's
Goa police investigation. So right now, sir, Goa police is under investigation in this case.
Yeah.
This is a very strange case where the police is under investigation. Maka Oscar ek
No,
mudda
what
विचारपा है.
doctor says is correct.
No,
Some
my-
inquiry, maybe from a judicial point or someone, needs to be done because then only it will come.
why I'm making this point also, तू तर सांगा म्हाका बरोबर झालं कारण हांगा चीफ सेक्रेटरी इन्क्वायरी केली आणि ताणी त्या PI आणि PSI सस्पेंड केल्यात.
Which is wrong.
नेक्स्ट डे दिस इज आफ्टर द चीफ सेक्रेटरीज इन्क्वायरी. नेक्स्ट डे तुगेली PI ची वर्जन कम्स इन पब्लिक डोमेन जातूंतल्यान PI is not claiming there that I did not do it. He is saying I did it because. So Dr. Oscar, what would you prefer as a citizen?
As a citizen, I don't think, the other thing I disagree with Datta Prasad where he alludes only to the Bahujan Samaj. No, this is not about the Bahujan Samaj at all. This is about an innocent citizen getting his house demolished. Tomorrow it could be any one of us. It could be any one of us. We have to understand that this is how the mafia works. This is how the mob works. They want to see whether you raise your voice or you fight back or you push back against these strong arm tactics of whether it's the police, the administration, the government, whoever it is. So there is a state saying that says Caesar's wife must be above suspicion. So in this particular case, the chief minister apparently looks like he is extremely keen on getting to the bottom of the matter and putting up a brave face and trying to show us that the BJP government here is, all about milk and honey and about justice and about Ram Rajya and all the rest of it. So if that is true, then you must give us, the citizens, the confidence that this investigation is truly verifiable, is truly above board, and Caesar's wife is above suspicion. So nothing short of a judicial commission or nothing short of a high court judge or retired high court judge or whatever method that you use, somebody totally out of the system at the present moment should be investigating this. And more importantly, please remember that there is a big distance between Assagao and Banastari. We have forgotten. We don't even know where the Banastari bridge is. More important, this must be a time-bound manner. In a time-bound manner, identify the culprit, either punish the culprit or dismiss them from service. But Goa requires an answer expedition. No reassurance. Answer and action. Absolutely.
म्हाका दत्तप्रसाद बाब मुद्दम एक गजाल तुमकां विचारपा आनी हाजेर सगळ्यांनी उलोवचें तें म्हळ्यार ह्या केसींतल्यान परत जो एक रेटोरीक तयार जाला तो हे दिल्लीकार किंवा गोंयच्या भायले लोक येतात हांगा आनी अशी करून आतां ही सगळी दादागिरी वाडत आसा. तुमचो तर ह्या लोकां कडेन दिसपट्टो संबंद येता. 10 वर्सां पयलीं तुमचो येतालो तो संबंद आनी आज तुमचो येता तो संबंद. हे जे भायल्यान येतात सगळे तांचो एटिट्यूड चेंज जाला गोंयचे विशीं.
पयलीं म्हणजे आमचे ऑस्कर बाबान म्हणलें तशें इट इज डेफिनेटली द इशू ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी सामान्य गोंयकार. इट इज बहुजन समाज आसाच. बहुजन समाज कॉन्स्टिट्यूट्स ऑफ द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द गोंयकार्स एंड डेफिनेटली ईच एंड एवरी गोंयकार वेदर इज अ हिंदू मुस्लीम ऑर अ कॅथलीक. आमचे बॉस्को साहेबान गोवा प्रोटेक्टर्सांचो उल्लेख केलो. प्रमोद सावंतान आतां तो रवी नायक ऑफ 1990s आनी मनोहर पर्रीकर ऑफ द 2000 ते रूप धारण करचें पडटलें. बट आज प्रॉब्लेम जाल्लें कितें आहा, ते 1919 पळय जे रवी नायकान बाणावली आनी सांताक्रूज एक्शन घेतिल्ली तेच हांगा सरकाराचे कलिग्स जाल्ले आसा. सो वेदर खरेंच तांचेर जातलें घेवप एक्शन काय ना हो एक मोठो क्वेश्चन मार्क आसा. बट हातूंच्यान ओन्ली सोल्युशन इज दॅट ओन्ली वन पर्सन, दॅट इज डॉक्टर प्रमोद सावंत. ही हॅव टू शो अ ब्रेव फ्रंट. पीपल ऑफ गोवा वील सपोर्ट हिम, बट इट हॅज टू बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्शन. स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन जर सारकी बऱ्या मनांच्यान आनी कांयच कोणाक फेवरेटिजम करनासतना जायत जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता ताका एक गोंयचो एक अनडिस्प्युटेड लिडर म्हणून जावपाची ही एक संदी आज मेळिल्ली आसा.
हय सिद्धार्थ बाब, तुमकां सयाचे दिल्ली सावन तुगे भायल्यान जे लोक येतात हांगा व्हडलो व्हडलो पोटलो घेवन तांगेलो आज गोंयचे विशीं एटिट्यूड बदलला. आमी खूब फावटी गोंयकारांकय दोश दितात की तुमी जमनी विकतात म्हणून ते येतात म्हणून. तुमी कशें पळयता ह्या गजाली कडेन?
त्यांचो सर्टनली थोडो दृष्टिकोन बदलला. दॅट वी ट्राय टू बुलडोज गोवन्स ऑर बुलडोज पीपल हियर. It is possible to do it by hobnogging with certain powerhouses, be it in administration or otherwise. So that certainly has happened. What was not happening or what was unconceivable 30 years ago or what very difficult 30 years ago things are happening here. So yes, certainly they are becoming more brazen, more powerful, and more barbaric in their ways, you know, those very vulgar in their ways. So that certainly difference is there. आता एक उदो तुवें विशय 2-3 उलयलो पळय. आता पहिली गोष्ट म्हणजे गोवा पुलीस इज क्वायट केपेबल. एक गोष्ट तुमकां हे जे 2-4-5 अरेस्ट जाल्यात पळय ते गोवा पुलिसांनीच केल्यात. आणि दॅट मीन्स द इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन इज गोईंग इन द रायट डिरेक्शन.
पहिली अरेस्ट ते बाबडे JCB ऑपरेटराचे केले, ते कित्याक केले ते म्हाका अजून कळना.
See, there is more to it. At least what I am hearing. If it was just simple, somebody had landed a JCB and somebody had. It's not that simple. The JCB person also who undertook this prima facie appears to be knowing what he is doing and knowing well he is doing. आता जशें उदळ म्हणलें पळय PI आणि बाकीच्यांनी
JCBचे पात्रांव धरपाचे म्हणटा ते बाबडे ऑपरेटरा कित्याक धरलो?
why operator also is, see, there are two things. आता तुम्ही DG म्हणता पळय, DG is responsible, but actual people who get work done is first. Their offense is first.
Yeah.
See, if I give supari to somebody, of course I am responsible for it.
Yeah.
But the person who kills is the first accused. From there he can come to me.
Okay.
So therefore investigation can't be other way around. Investigation. एकच मिनिट काबार करता.
Yeah.
So this investigation is going on in a correct fashion. Now, from this initial they should be able to reach to the kingpin, the main person at whose instance, at whose behest all these things are done. There you have to reach, and moment you reach there, I think people in Goa will take a sigh of relief. That will be, and if you want, I will name whoever that lady Sharma is. If a summons is issued or if a warrant is issued for her, at least Goa will some sigh of relief that it is going in the right
direction.
The third, about a judicial inquiry, since see, the judicial inquiry will not fix criminal charges on anybody. They will only see why this has happened, how this has happened, and they will give some recommendation. What we need is a criminal action on this, because the criminal action is quite evident. Nobody says that no crime has been committed.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
Same way. There is no other way.
I agree with him that the investigation is going on in the right direction.
First 5 days
The arrests have happened only after the massive public outrage.
See,
जो राग पळय लोकांचो दिसपाक लागलो मागीरूच हे पयलीं म्हणजे
you are right there. Nobody says, but the manner in which, see, when allegations are there against the police, when the allegations are there against the topmost person, the chief minister putting foot down and seeing to it that this investigation is going to the logical conclusion, I think it deserves a kind of respect to this chief minister. Whatever. Number 2, I would pertinently note lady Dilaila Lobo, the manner in which she has come out. She requires some sort of a pat on her back.
Because these people are directly involved.
Advocate Samant, I think giving politicians a pat on their back is like, I don't
premature.
Think not just premature.
If you are going to criticize them when then you should be where they are right, they have done something, delivered something.
All that is fine.
Asgaonkar family is a voter of Dilaila Lobo, and we have to compliment the way she stood by the family. आमदाराचे काम असतं आपल्या
बरोबर तेच म्हणता, the manner in which that happened, it shook everybody.
Absolutely.
So if anybody in a position of power has taken a right position, I think that is our duty to take that position.
Doctor was asking a question on criminal investigation. What should be done? There could be two things. One, this matter has been sent to crime branch. That's the best place this investigation can happen. That's the best investigative agency as far as Goa is. Now, since topmost police affair, whether it should be handed to CBI or something, that needs to be deliberated.
Yeah.
Whether because ultimately, doorkeeper of a person cannot investigate the owner of the house.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely. बाकी दोतोर तुम्ही सांगात, बिफोर आय गो टू बॉस्को साहेब, हे जो दिल्ली सावन लोक येतात, भायल्यान लोक येतात, आज आमचेर ते तुगे शेक गाजोवपा लागल्यात, दादागिरी करपा लागल्यात, खंय पावतले हे असले हेजे डायलॉग मारता पळय, ते आयकून तुमकां कितें दिसता?
म्हणून म्हाका सारकें भिरभिरी मारता हें आयकून.
हय.
Because this to me is abject surrender of our own responsibility. अजून ही तवायफ आसा पळय ती अजून आमचीच आवय ती. सो हे परत फक्त दिल्लीवाले करून you create this whole bogey about a Delhi walo and you don't introspect and find out what has gone wrong with us. If we do not facilitate these Delhi walas, how the hell do you think these Delhi walas can operate like this? That means systemically, that's why I'm saying that we cannot just give a carte blanche to the political class simply because they've come and they've shed some kind of tears. They are very good at shedding tears in public domain. No question of carte blanche to them, because it is the political class downwards. Look at the way the kind of regional plan that we have. Look at the way the conversions are occurring. Look at the way that bouncers are going and evicting smaller people which are not coming to your media's attention. आता किती झाला तुम्ही मागचे गोदीच्यान बाहेर सरल्या तुम्ही मीडिया म्हणून तुम्ही
आमच्या बद्दल तरी तू बरवलेलो आमच्या बद्दल तरी बरवलेलो
याबद्दल डेफिनेटली तुम्ही सारखे केले तुम्ही बॉर्ड मारलो म्हणून इतले झाले ते नाल्यार ओगी बसून. Do you think this is obviously the most brazen crime that has taken place under the watchful and the benign gaze of the police? But do you mean to say that in Goa over the last decade or so, with the patronage of the political powers who may or may not shed tears at the time of the demolition, we care for a damn for that, but with their patronage, you think that houses have not been demolished, you think that tenants have not been evicted, you think that crimes have not been committed against the small man? I'm not talking about Bahujan Samaj.
You are saying this is an example of tipping point.
This is now a tipping point. This is a tipping point because now we have realized that even the police are involved in this. But to tell us that the politicians are not involved in it and not the originators of these crimes is like a little too much for me to
Absolutely,
There was also a news today in the media that the bouncers who are involved are members of the ruling party and on some of the cells, there are different cells. So that also news was there in the media.
ना म्हाका साहेब मुद्दाम हे विचारपाक जाय कारण हो प्रश्न बॉस्को साहेब सगळे जाण प्रश्न करतात की मुखार कशी वचपाचें का म्हणून. आणि दुसरो प्रश्न येता की ह्या दिल्लीवाल्यांनी कितें करतात का म्हणून. तुम्ही गोंयच्या भायरय काम केलां, तुम्ही सगळ्यांचो एटिट्यूड पळयला. तुमकां दिसता हो एटिट्यूड बदलला की आमी गोंया येवन कितें करपाक शकता. आतां गोंयकार सुद्दां कांय कोतना गोंयकारांक जाय तें करतले आमी. हो एटिट्यूड तयार जाला आणि प्रॉबेबली जशें दोतोर ऑस्कर म्हणटा की अवर सिस्टम इज फीडिंग टू इट, अवर सिस्टम इज फॅसिलिटेटिंग इट, अवर पॉलिटिशियन्स आर फॅसिलिटेटिंग इट की येयात आमी हांगा बसल्यात, जाय तशी विकती घेयात आणि जाय ते करात. हो मेसेज गेला बॉस्को साहेब.
I will say that, the buck stops, as Dr. Oscar rightly said, is with the politician. Do we have the right people in the right places? Just look at the police stations which are being run by these officers. Big question mark on all. Second question is, does the DGP have the powers to post even any of these officers at the police stations?
Constable, he does not.
He cannot have this thing. Now, if you are going to have such a broken system, I do not know who's going to take the responsibility. How are you going to take the responsibility? Then you could say, yes, the DGP is responsible for this. Today we have to, everyone has surrendered his this thing, looking upwards. No one knows what's this thing. Because again, if you are, there was the system come by the Supreme Court that the officers will not be changed for the next 3 years. He'll remain in that position for 3 years. 3 years. The DG, the SP, blatantly nobody is following it. He's just kicked off as and when he requires. I mean, this is the real this thing. Our politicians have failed in this aspect of, they are not able to, and we as the police, which we really want to serve, we can't give that assurance to the people that if you are going to come to the police station, that I will be able to help you. We can't. Why? Because there are too many this thing to handle. You have to handle the press, you have to handle the bosses, you have to handle the courts. How many people are the police going to be answerable? And then after you have the police complaint authority, everything. We are the perfect punching bag, the police force, because we represent the establishment. We are the face. We are 24 hours. We have to the
yes, correct.
And look at this thing. You come to look at the police force that is there. That should have been more patrol vehicles in the city. You don't require more force in the day. You require as much force in the night as much as we have in the day. Nothing is there. But look at the police are being diverted for all the other things, not for the things that are required.
Correct. म्हाका एक गजाल सामकीच साहेब तुम्ही सांगल ती बरी दिसता की केन्ना म्हाका डावट मारता पुलीस एक गजाली करता त्यो की इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन ही तांची प्रायमरी ड्युटी हेच कांय जाण विसरल्या काय कितें
Yes.
आणि बाकीची गजाली चड जाता काय कितें. फायनल राउंड
forgot
सिद्धार्थ बाबा तुमचे कडच्यान स्टार्ट करता.
आणि आता तू म्हटले पळय तातूंत देर वॉज अ सिरियस डिबेट इज टू डिवायड पुलीस इंटू 2 विंग्स. वन इज इन्व्हेस्टिगेटिव्ह विंग that should not be under the control of government. Maybe you have a collegium of 5-6 people who the investigation should be overseen by that. And second is law and order. Anga nakabandi he that should be directly under, because it is for the government to decide. Khaychan procession watle ani kire. So these two things, if it is done, then lot of problems will be solved. But would police, would government, any government, I'm not talking about this, would want to leave this control voluntarily?
लिव्ह द कंट्रोल. म्हाका सिद्धार्थ स्पेसिफिक्स. आता तुम्ही म्हणटात की एक गजाल कळटा की चीफ मिनिस्टर इज सिरियस. तशें प्रत्येक गोंयकार हाल्लो हें पळोवन म्हाका दिसता एक गृहमंत्री म्हणून आणि मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून तांकांय तकलेक पेस आयला आसतलो की कितें चल्लां काय म्हणून.
100%.
वॉट आर युअर स्पेसिफीक डिमांड्स फ्रॉम द चीफ मिनिस्टर? स्पेसिफीक कितें करपाचें? ह्या ऑफिसराक लिव्हेर धाडपाचें, सस्पेंड करपाचें, इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन आनी कोणाक काडून दिवपाचें? वॉट आर युअर स्पेसिफीक डिमांड्स?
That this complaint allegations thoroughly has to be gone into. If prima facie something is found, then the DG has to be sent on leave or on suspension. There is no doubt about it. And the justice Agarwadekar तांकां कितें आसा तो मेळपाक जाय. The FIR, those have been filed, has to be gone to logical end. The kingpin, the real masters, pay masters from Delhi,
किंगपिन, क्वीनपिन,
Queen, the pay masters from Delhi has to be brought to justice. And there has to be a white paper on entire thing. People are entitled to know what has happened.
म्हाका लास्ट
Third, एकूच गोष्ट, I think we have not discussed that. The manner in which this lady, the victim lady, has come to public forums and said, ती आपल्या सारकीच एक आवय, तिका एक चली आसा, अँड तिका काय खबर नाशिल्लें, म्हणजे जणू काय म्हणजे शी डीड नॉट नो अँड समबडी एल्स केम अँड डन दीस डिमॉलिशन अँड क्लिअर्ड द प्लेस अँड द इनोसंट लेडी दॅट दिव्या शर्मा, वॉट इज हर, आय फॉरगेट हर नेम, पूजा शर्मा इज दॅट हें जें कितें आसा पळय, म्हणजे इफ पीपल थिंक वी आर फूल्स दॅट शी विल से समथींग लायक दॅट अँड एवरीबडी विल बाय दीस. I think this aspect of it, because where victim is trying to give a clean sheet to the kingpin. Now, why this has happened, who's behind it, आणि हातून कोणाचो विजय जातलो पळय अल्टिमेटली, ताचेरूय मातशें तुमी चर्चा करपाक जाय.
तुम्ही विजय हो शब्द मुद्दाम वापरलो.
ना विजय म्हणजे विक्ट्री न्ही, विजय आणि पराजय. विजय आणि पराजय दीज आर लेजिटिमेट वर्ड्स.
ना म्हाका लास्ट एकूच विचारपाक बिफोर आय गो टू दत्तप्रसाद, हे जे कंप्लेन विड्रॉ करपाक तयार आहा म्हूण एफिडेविट दिलें, हें दिलें तें दिलें म्हणटा पळय, कंप्लेन विड्रॉ करप शक्य आहात?
No, that is not.
जनरल लोकांक कळपा खातीर, सामान्य गोंयकाराक कळपा खातीर.
I'm sorry, this was not to me, but see, as
ना तुमकां जाय.
Oh, so I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. See, once an FIR is registered, there can be only 2-3 things. One, you go to the High Court and get it squashed, saying that it is not substance, it has been done to harass me. No, otherwise you investigate and then go before a magistrate and tell him that A summary, B summary asta. Either the accused are not found, or the evidence is not there, or the FIR was false, and therefore you close it. The magistrate, after going into the entire investigation, is either accept the report and closes an FIR, or it says no, nothing doing, you go and file a charge sheet, let me decide what is to be done with it. So therefore ही जी कोण ती बायल आतां आमकां आपली कंप्लेंट ना, आपलें घर मोडला तितलीच कंप्लेंट आपण विड्रॉ करता, एबडक्शन केला त्याची हे करना, आणि कितें जे कितें, आणि somehow she is trying to give clean sheet saying that abduction is done by so and so, not by
piecemeal जावपाक शकना.
In piece, no, it cannot have, forget piecemeal, totally also it cannot.
Totally also it cannot happen. Okay, let's look at गोंयकाराच्या abundant clarity खातीर. दत्तप्रसाद बाब, specific demand from the chief minister.
आमचे दोतोर ऑस्कर रिबेरोन जो शब्द यूज केलो, म्हणजे आवयक आमच्या, म्हाका तो घेवपाक खरें बरें दिसना, बट दॅट इज द रियलिटी. आज वी आर फेसिंग दॅट. आनी जे दिल्लीवाले आमी येता म्हणटा, हे दिल्लीवाले येवन सगळ्यान पयलीं आमी गोंयकार, म्हणजे जी पॉलिटिकल क्लास आसा आनी ब्युरोक्रेसी आसा, हीच तांकां आपलो कितें तरी बाबा आज आपलें बॉल्स कशें तरी भरचें म्हणून तांकां सगळ्यो फॅसिलिटीज हांगा दिता. सो पयलीं म्हणजे तांचो सामको तो एक भंय गेल्लो आसा, गोंयकार कॅन बी मॅनेज्ड, हें तांकां सगळ्यांक पुरेपूर खबर आसा. आनी पॉलिटिकल क्लास म्हणजे रायट फ्रॉम द टॉप मोस्ट पोजिशन टील द MLA ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्युएन्सी, हांकां सगळ्यांक ते वेवस्थीत तांची कितें जी सोय आसा ती तांची करप चल्ल्या, म्हणजे तांकां कोणाचोच भंय ना जाला. बट एक जशी आतां एक अपेक्षा आसा, सगळें गोंय एकठांय जाल्लें आसा ह्या विशया वयल्यान. सो म्हजी विनंती आसा दोतोर प्रमोद सावंता कडेन, सगळे तुज्या फाटल्यान रावतले, सारकें स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन घेया आनी म्हाका दिसता ही लांबणेर सुद्दां वचपाची गरज ना. सारकें जर इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करत म्हणजे एक सारकी जशें हांवें म्हणलें तशें बी द रवी नाईक ऑफ 90s
आणि आयच्या काळाक हे
डेफिनेटली
इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करप आयच्या काळात दत्तप्रसाद राव इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करप कठीण न्ही. ते स्मार्टफोनाचेर शूट केल्ले कितलेशेच व्हिडिओ आसात
Exactly.
आणि जशें एक ते स्टेटमेंट येता पुलीस इन्स्पेक्टराचे तांणी जे कॉल डिटेल्स दिल्यात न्ही तेच पुलिसेन व्हेरीफाय केल्या पुरो दूध का दूध पानी का पानी जातलें.
लोकेशना वयल्यान तुका कोण खंय गेला आनी
सगळें
सगळें तुका मेळटलें.
कळटलें. ऑस्कर बाब स्पेसिफीक डिमांड
पळय एक म्हणल्यार दोन म्हाज्यो फक्त दोन
Yeah.
दोन गोश्टी फक्त दोन मुद्दे मांडपाक सोदता. एक म्हणल्यार आमी म्हणटा की प्रमोद सावंत इफ विशीज वर हॉर्सेस बेगर्स वूड रायड म्हणटा पळय तशें. कित्याक इफ टुमॉरो देर इज वन BJP functionary that gets implicated in this case, you can be rest assured that this case will be watered down and will be thrown out in the waste paper basket. Because at the end of the day, it is the face of the BJP government in Goa today that has got so much of cow dung on itself that I don't know what kind of detergent they are going to use to wash it off, but it is a failure, complete failure of law and order. So my demand is not about what Agarwadekar family has done. That is a crime. Whether Pooja Sharma, yes, of course, find who she is, etc. Those are the crimes. So tomorrow there is a murder taking place. Tomorrow there is one theft taking place. We don't sit and do debates because of that. No, those are the crimes.
Correct.
They're not bothered. The only thing and the only answer, so this people should not lose focus on, because there will be a lot of this, Bahujan, non-Bahujan, ani kide, Goenka, Dillikar. That is not the point. The point is we need to know who was the kingpin who gave the orders to the police not to go ahead and protect the family and protect the demolition. Only this answer, and this can come, in my opinion, from
One
a
word answer.
completely neutral source.
Yeah.
Only that, because that is the danger, not the crimes. Crimes happen every day.
Yeah.
Why is it that the police had such an abysmal dereliction, criminal dereliction of duty, and under whose orders? And that person has to be pinned down, exposed to the public, and if necessary, dismissed from from service, or charges framed against him or her. That is the only point. The rest of it is all rubbish.
Your expectation from the Chief Minister?
Chief Minister, whatever they take, the only thing is I agree with Doctor what he says, that yes, who has given these instructions for the police to be put in such a poor state in front of the public? I mean, this is shame. If I worked under this DG when he was an ASP as a DIG and IG, and I've had a very comfortable, and I've always seen him very dedicated. If he has given this instruction, it is a very sad thing that he has done. And whatever may be my personal thing, it is important that to assure the people of Goa that the main culprit needs to be punished, either dismissed or moved out, whoever it may be, whatever the hierarchy, it has to come.
फिक्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी.
Yes.
हांव इतल्याचेर थांबता. म्हाका दिसता मुख्यमंत्र्याक आमी सगळे जाण एकूच सांगपाक सोदतात की जशें दोतोरान बरें सांगलें हो एक नॉर्मल क्रायम असले आमी डिबेट्स करनात. दिस वॉज नॉट demolition of a structure. This was a demolition of a system, and that has disturbed everybody. That we saw that the system that is supposed to design to constitutionally given powers to protect every citizen, even the weakest, failed us. Now,
Not
as
failed
Chief
us,
Minister,
connived with the criminals. To
absolutely,
fail us.
absolutely,
Not
to fail.
failed us. Connived
It was
with the criminals.
on that
That is the
day.
point.
It was designed and it performed to fail. So if that is the seriousness of it, आणि ह्या गजालींतल्यान परत तो ट्रस्ट रिस्टोर करप हे कठीण काम. बट ते जशें दत्तप्रसाद बाबान सांगलें की तें जर तुमी केलें ना जाल्यार आमी हे सगळी गजाली करता पळय ताका कांय अर्थ उरचो ना. हे एज अ हेड ऑफ द स्टेट, एज होम मिनिस्टर, एज चीफ मिनिस्टर तुमी करचें इतलेंच मागता. थांबता. बस्को बाब, ऑस्कर बाब, दत्तप्रसाद बाब, सिद्धार्थ बाब, थँक्स अ लॉट फॉर पार्टिसिपेटींग. पळयत रावात प्रुडंट. नमस्कार.